Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to Getting Hyped with HyperAuto 12 one last time on this YouTube channel. As you can see in the background, I'm playing Need for Speed Hot Pursuit again, but this is going to be a slightly different video from what you guys are used to seeing because I am actually talking at a different time than the time I actually was playing this period of the game. This is not really going to be a game with commentary. It's more of going to be storytelling with a silent gameplay in the background. The main purpose of today's video is not only showcase the cars that I didn't use back in the original Need for Speed Hot Pursuit videos I released previously, as well as telling you the story of my life throughout the time of HyperAuto 12. So let's start with my late passion for cars. It was back in my childhood when I still had quite a few playsets under the brand of Hot Wheels, and my dad especially had a lot of fun building tracks with me back when I was a kid. I mean, of course, I was even less than 10 years old at the time, before my passion of cars grew to where he did all the track building and showed me everything, and I just played along with all the cars being used that were good for tracks. And it was in 2010 when my mom introduced me to the video game Need for Speed Hot Pursuit that was originally borrowed from a library. Back then, libraries actually used to have video games in stock. So Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2010 was available on the PlayStation 3, which was a console that we had back then. And ever since I've been grinding that game, my love for cars has grown. And my first favorite car used to be the Nissan 370Z, because the Nissan Z series and the Infiniti G series used to have such unique engine sounds. That used to be my first car of interest, until I started to discover more and more interesting cars, starting with the Porsche Carrera GT and so on. And I also believe that before I got this game, there was a family Christmas time where Secret Santa was happening, and I got a first model of an unusual car that I never have seen before on the road. The first supercar brand that was known to me was Ferrari, but the first model of car that really caught my attention was a Lamborghini Gallardo LP564, and Need for Speed Hot Pursuit introduced me to the official most relevant performance at the time of the Lamborghini Gallardo, and that made my love for Lamborghini grow even stronger than Ferrari. And even at this day, I still had more interest in Lamborghini over Ferrari. So fast forwarding that, after I tried out the game from the library, my mom bought me a couple more Need for Speed games. Well, actually not Need for Speed, but a couple more racing games, realistic racing games, before she could even find Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, because that time, 2010, that game was still really new. It was still being shipped out to stores. So the next couple of games that I got introduced to were Need for Speed Carbon and Split Second. And out of those two games, I didn't really know what I could do that much in Need for Speed Carbon, but Split Second, I grinded the heck out of it. And with all those explosions, the epic soundtracks, that got me really interested to favor this game as one of my absolute favorites as well, aside from Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. And from then on, one of my childhood friends had a different Need for Speed game that was that pretty much came out right after Need for Speed Hot Pursuit in the year of 2012, which was the second generation of Need for Speed Most Wanted. And what I really liked about that game compared to Need for Speed Hot Pursuit was free roam was 24/7, while you find events during the free roam. And sometimes even without racing, I also had the ability to just cruise around the city of Fairhaven, especially since it was being played on either PlayStation or Xbox. So the control for the throttle can vary. So moving on to the reason why I started HyperAuto 12 on YouTube, which initially started out as Huayra 12, back when my dream car was the Pagani Huayra that started from Need for Speed Most Wanted. So it was 8th grade of middle school when I had a classmate who had a YouTube channel as well. His YouTube channel went by Overmind121, and he put out some pretty silly content, quite entertaining as well, I can admit. And that started to bring me the interest of starting my own YouTube channel. And back when I had so much interest in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, followed by looking for a lot of Hot Wheels cars resembling the cars that were in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit or Need for Speed Most Wanted, I decided to start my own YouTube channel showcasing Hot Wheels and some of the cars that I favor back in the Need for Speed games. And initially started out with a video, a little music video mock-up that I did of Cell Dweller's Battle Cry song, which back then my dad used to enjoy listening to Cell Dweller's OG albums soundtracks from Voices in My Head, which Cell Dweller had a total of 3 volumes, and the full version of the volume that Battle Cry was in didn't release until like 4 years later, or maybe even longer than that. And I decided to put that back as public with the proper crediting on YouTube, even though it's still gonna get copyright, which I didn't really know what copyright originally was back then, because I was still too young. I was only like 13 or 14 when I started this this channel. And feel free to put as much hate comments as you want, because I don't care to reply them back at this point. But I think this video is made for kids, so comments are turned off. So main reason why I mentioned about hate comments is because that has probably got to be the worst budgeted music video somebody could ever see in that in this era of YouTube. So basically that channel got started with a video camera that was only a, I think 2006-2007 built pink rectangle, as one of my friends called it. And initially I didn't know how to edit, so when it comes to scene changes, I just covered with a black little card or track piece every time I shift a scene. So that's pretty much how it started. And then after that, I went to do some more hobby stuff, more Hot Wheels track videos, more. I even did one with Kinect's roller coaster, as well as doing a little bit of stop motion fun with my Lego Star Wars sets and some more car videos that actually involve stop motion instead of track. And afterwards, when I noticed some videos of really long tracks, especially Darter Brothers, with a video actually called Hot Wheels, and some other YouTube channels with other long track videos, I was like, I'm kind of interested in doing that as well. But of course, I'm pretty sure some people even got canceled for just putting from clip to clip, to where they don't have that much track actually, but instead they just do like, they just pretend that that is a complete track to where they just move tracks from one location to the other and make it look like it's a complete track, which is pretty much, I'm going to expose myself right now, that was what I did on my long track series. But it looked real enough, but I think the most disappointing one was the Thanksgiving, because I kept seeing, every beginning of the clip, I kept seeing my hand just swing on the side of the frame from where the cars came from, so that was like, okay. Yep, I'm definitely going to be exposed at that point. But at this point, I don't care. As long as it's entertaining, it's all good. So that was all the Hot Wheels videos. And then afterwards, 8 years ago, I looked into starting a little gaming compilation. And it started out with the games... Started out with the game Asphalt 8 Airborne, which I used to grind a lot on an iOS device. And then I had it on PC as well, but I didn't go as far. I think if I remember, the fastest car I ever had in Asphalt 8 was the Pagani Zonda R. And that was on an iPad, but this one, it was only like the DS Servo and the Ferrari 612 Scaglietti. I'm sorry if I butchered this pronunciation, but that was pretty much what happened. And then I moved on to some mobile gaming, which was CSR2, followed by Avalex Driving Sim, and that is where I met quite a few people that I started following on Instagram. Especially a YouTuber called Automotive Activities, which I believe he's still making videos at this point. Not sure if he still does any driving sim videos, but more towards Roblox. So yeah, that was where the mobile gaming started. And then I even followed up with Mech Battle gameplay, Real Racing 3, and car parking multiplayer. And then that's where my gaming started to come to a grind. Now, outside of mobile gaming, we're gonna fast forward back to actual big console gaming. And after I played like way more of Need for Speed games, like Hot Pursuit, Most Wanted, and even Rivals, there was another really realistic racing simulator game that I got introduced to, which was Gran Turismo. And the first Gran Turismo game I started playing was 5, and boy did I enjoy it a lot. One of the series that I did the most often in the earlier time was Supercar Championships. Or that's what I think I remember it was. And that was really fun. I was initially a bit of a newbie at that point. Everybody else had like a supercar that valued between 100 to even millions of dollars of game money in that game, while I had a $61,000 Nissan Skyline GTR R34, which was really slow. And then afterwards, I got myself a BMW M3, which was my favorite BMW of all time. And then, after I grinded some more with the BMW M3, I officially got my first supercar, which was of the game, which was the Dodge Viper SRT10 ACR, only worth 100 grand. That was quite a bargain. And then I started winning more and more of those races, and that's where the grind starts going quicker. And then afterwards, I got the Corvette ZR1 as well. And the next stage was racing against race cars in a supercar. Well, I mean, the Dodge Viper SRT10 ACR is a track car, aka the American Club Racer, so why not? But, of course, I lost again. And then afterwards, I think, I can't remember which was the first car that I started to get that was a race car. No. The car that I got that helped me start winning, being more competitive against race cars and touring cars is what's known as the Mines BNR 34 Skyline GTR, which is a specially modified tuned Japanese car version of the Nissan Skyline GTR R34. And that used to be my favorite Japanese car of all time back in the past. I haven't even watched Fast and Furious at the time yet, but you know what I mean. Paul Walker even drove the Nissan Skyline GTR as one of his most iconic cars in the series. So afterwards I started grinding more and more, and ever since Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, another car that I would like to give a shout out to is the McLaren F1 made in 1994. That was the GOAT, in my opinion, of Gran Turismo 5 back when I used to own the car and play it, because I also modified that McLaren F1 to a racing setup to where it could even compete to the higher end Le Mans vehicles. And it initially started with Dream Car Championship, when most of the cars were race cars and touring cars, except for one, which was what I thought a misplaced Le Mans race car, which was the Jaguar XJR9. And that was way too fast for all the other touring cars, except for one other car that slipstreamed behind it the entire race, which was the Ford GT Ford GT LM Spec 2 test car. And with the McLaren F1, with my racing setup, I started to compete a lot better against those and the Le Mans vehicles, until I discovered racing modifications on some of the base cars, which the first car I did modify to a racing modification was the Corvette ZR1 C6. And boy, did that become a much bigger competition in the end, to where I even continuously won the races of American car championships against the Chaparral 2J, which was the main typical opponent right there. Excuse me. And then the next stage happened in 2014. The next Gran Turismo game came out, Gran Turismo 6. And no offense, this was where a major turning point happened, and my passion for cars started to decrease. And I don't think I would blame the cars just yet, the brands just yet, but I would blame the developers of that game. It was poorly produced. I'm not sure if many people noticed, but I noticed how poorly produced that game was. Two of the biggest reasons why. One, the programming between the player and the bots was absolutely terrible. When I clicked the replay of some of the races that I kind of lost unfairly, bots that passed me slowly had a much slower recorded speed than my car. For example, when I did Light the Wind with the Pagani Huayra and the Corvette Stingray, and yes, the Stingray could actually hit 270 miles per hour while slipstreaming in Gran Turismo 6. I was driving at 256 miles per hour at one point, and there were cars like Bugatti Veyrons and GT by Citroëns that even passed me with a recording speed of 251, 5 miles per hour slower than my recorded speed. Like, how poorly programmed could that be? And another reason is because back in the earlier stages of Gran Turismo 6, most of the times when I win a race, the game just immediately froze and crashed. And also in the end, which was the last straw, challenges that were given to that game were extremely unfair. One of the biggest challenges was the Nürburgring between a Ford GT40 and a Ford GT. And one of the biggest restrictions that you can't do is hit the other player's car. That bot did me so dirty. Even halfway through the race, when I was ahead of the Ford GT in the Ford GT40, I was racing clean, until the bot decided to purposefully, forcefully rear-end my car and say that I'm disqualified. And after a few more attempts of that happening, that was where the turning point hit. I quit Gran Turismo. I left the PlayStation 3. It's over. So I went back to some more Hot Wheels, and I continued grinding a lot more collecting of the cars I like until in my year of college. Until when I hit college, I discovered another game that was played by some of the YouTubers. For example, Black Panther, Airship 111, Starkey 90. Those YouTubers played a game called The Crew 2. And the main location was a small-scale US map. That made me want to go back to playing racing games. And instead of playing on the PlayStation, I decided to play it on PC, Steam. And that was when live streams followed by screen recording took place. And of course, being a simple guy that initially didn't have as much interest in YouTube gaming, I first improvised on an old PC that I initially had by placing a camera nicely leveled to the screen and record the live streams from there, just to make things a bit simple, not affecting the performance of the PC that much. And then once I switched to laptop, that was when screen recording came to play with the test recordings. And boy, did I had a lot of fun with the Crew 2. That definitely brought me back some good memories of my passion on automobiles. And the initial half of college, I was so interested in cars. And in my freshman year, I initially did apply to study abroad for a semester at Salzburg, Austria. And back then, one of my favorite car brands was BMW. And there was a manufacturing plant over there I would have been interested to see. But one of the biggest turning points in my life happened. 2020 was when the big pandemic hit in the US, the coronavirus, COVID-19. And I was in a couple long-standing programs. And once COVID hit, major plans changed. I had no choice but to drop from the initial long-standing programs I had. I'm not going to mention what programs I was in, but I want to tell you right now, it made a big challenging turn in my life in college. Because I had to forcefully drop from those programs because of coronavirus, I almost had to make the decision to drop from college due to a loss of scholarship, but all the reimbursements I got from scholarships and programs, I was able to keep. So initially, I was going to study there for 5 years. But after the coronavirus hit, I decided to push myself back down to 4 years because that's where one of my last standing scholarships was going to last until. And I made it. But during the coronavirus time, 2020 and 2021, there was another thing that got me to lose interest in the passion of cars. Then there were quite a few brands in the newer generation, especially one that I looked up upon for quite a long time, that literally just brought me down. The biggest one I really hate to call out is BMW, with their new awkward design of the new grille, the vertical grille, that doesn't really fit the shape well on the car at all. And initially there was one of the most famous car designers that I used to watch his videos named Frank Stevenson, and he also had quite the criticism on BMW's design as well. And more car brands start to produce cars that kind of make me lose my interest. So I didn't really have as much interest in cars anymore. And what was I gonna say? My momentum of collecting Hot Wheels cars came to an end in my senior year of college. But I also forgot to mention, before I lose interest in cars, back then I still played some Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, and Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered still came in, and I got introduced by a couple players to the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit community, and there were still actually competitions between squads. I don't know if I can remember any of them. Maybe I think I only remember one of them, and it was True Speed. And then there was even a streamer known as Solanos or Cariope, who is a VTuber and a professional Need for Speed Hot Pursuit gamer. She actually had me in some of her live streams when it comes to competing in races and Hot Pursuits back when Remastered came out in 2020, and it was quite fun. But still, ship has to sail at some point. We're all moving on. And another person I forgot to mention is, back in my passion on Hot Wheels, another person that inspired me to collect more cars is Race Groups, which I used to watch a whole lot of his videos before I started gaming, and very entertaining. He, even though his main purpose was to promote Hot Wheels some more, but his videos are still very entertaining, and I appreciate that. But going back to after the COVID happened, when I started gaming, I started to play more games than just racing games. And it started when a longtime friend of mine, Ghost, aka Chungus Beaver, Electric Chungus, Clopsire, initially played The Crew 2 with me, but also we started playing Phasmophobia, and we did a test live stream. And then afterwards, Rocket League, Phasmophobia, Grand Theft Auto, and so forth until this day. And that was pretty much how the history of Hyper Auto 12 lasted by then. So yeah, that was pretty much the brief story. And this is the last gaming video right here. I can't really think of anything else to say, other than it is what it is. Starting to get burnt from recording, making videos, and dealing with technical issues that I have on my dying PC. Yeah, I think basically at that point, that was where I started to lose interest in just recording gameplays and just want to move on. And also the fact that my passion for cars has slowly diminished. And I think that's the next thing I want to tell you right now. Throughout my life, and I'm telling you guys an honest truth, throughout my life, my biggest passion, throughout my life, my biggest passion was actually not cars. Ever since I was actually, I think, even less than 1 year old, I've been flying on commercial planes. And that was actually my much bigger passion, which actually shifted back to it once COVID struck. So that is why a lot of us were starting to talk more about airplanes than cars in my channel, which is because during my shift in college life, my interests in what I want to do and work in shifted from cars to airplanes, and now I currently work at a commercial airline industry. And don't get me wrong, the job market has been pure garbage, and it wasn't just me that has been dealing with that, but 2.5 years after I graduated, I've been submitting plenty of engineering job applications, and every single one of them either got left with no response or just an immediate rejection. The company that actually had me on the closest stage to getting hired was actually Airbus. But it was the very last stage of the hiring process to where I got dropped. And now I'm currently working in a commercial airline as in a lower position, but I do have a path set up for myself to climb back up. And that's what kind of motivates me right now. So at this point, I'm actually more interested in airplanes than cars, and I'm more interested in doing airplane stuff than gaming content. And there are actually also a couple other hobbies that I like to do aside from just gaming. And I favor doing those hobbies more than gaming at this point, because it's way more productive. And two of the things I also like to do is story writing and music producing. And I'm going to be continuing on that while I leave this legacy behind. So, but aside from that, I want to thank 232 of you guys during the time that I record this audio. If there's a few more people that subscribe to me, I appreciate you guys on that as well. Thank you for sticking with me on 11 years of this journey. But the fact that I'm doing this for free and burning my energy out is just not worth it. So, other than that, I bid you guys drive safe, and I'm just gonna leave the rest of the gameplay silent, maybe towards the end. So, that's it for now. Let's focus on the gameplay. Actually, I got one more side of my life, automotive related, to talk about. Another part of my life that is automotive related came from my dad's side of the family, especially my late grandfather, who passed away a few years ago. He used to be a hot rod freak. He had quite a car collection for the family, actually, but his main signature vehicle is the Ford F100 back in the day. If I remember, I think it's like a early 60s model Ford F100. He had two of them that were modified into hot rods, especially one that even had some iconic paint job of baby blue or sky blue, but with red hot flames in the front. And the nickname of that car was the Rufus. And he even took it out on the racetrack and competed against other people who are hobbyists for fun in terms of automotive racing, and he kicked their butts very. And alongside that, he also built a 2000s model Dingo, which was an off-road go-kart that my dad and I literally took out for a spin throughout his acres of land, and it was quite a lot of fun. What is it? Shortly after the end of the hot rod era for him, we also watched a lot of NASCAR whenever I visit his house and chat about it as well. And another part of my dad's side of the family, my uncle, my dad's brother-in-law, he used to own a Ford Mustang and modify it to you know, perform almost like a Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat, and he called it the Hellhound, which was pretty cool. And I also have a cousin who used to do a lot of dirt bike racing for fun. I don't know if he still owns a collection of dirt bikes. He had 3. And at one point we did race off-road together, me and the go-kart versus him in the dirt bike. And it was quite a lot of fun. Of course he won because my go-kart is even a single transmission powered by a lawnmower motor, which was pretty cool. And aside from NASCAR, another series that I used to watch quite a lot on YouTube was Euro V8, which was pretty much a series, a Grand Prix series, kind of like 24 Hours Le Mans, but with their own class of cars, race cars, track cars that are V8 powered. So they're based on like the base models of V8 powered vehicles, such as the Mercedes-Benz C63 AMG, the BMW M3 E92, and even some American cars like the Chevrolet Camaro and the Ford Mustang. Those were pretty fun to watch. And I still remember there were a couple times where a neighbor of mine even took myself and dad out to watch some dwarf car derby racing, and his main career took place in BMW as well. Yeah. And when it comes to most of the times I went to see the dwarf car derby racing, or what's called National Midgets Racing. Of course, I would not leave without getting a car that resembles a midget. And I almost forgot to mention, I will be on other channels. Don't worry, I'm not going to be fully gone, just done making my own videos. Well, that's enough of my storytelling. Enjoy the video. You might hear me back on the last parts.
Roger that, 1073 approved. Roadblock units deploying directly ahead of you. Suspect has been issued with a speeding ticket and fine. Suspect has hit the roadblock. All units move in for the arrest. Suspects are now under arrest. Bring them in for processing. units, you're clear to use spike strips. I repeat, spike strips are now authorized.
Air support request received. Moving in on your position.
Suspect has evaded the spike strip.
Collision. Target. Main contact is sustained some damage.
EMP activated, acquiring target lock. All units, local EMPs are now authorized for use. Repeat, EMPs are a go. You got it. Roadblock in position ahead.
All units, roadblock here. Report station on. Backup requested.
EMP has missed the target. EMP has missed the target. All units, continue pursuit. Over. All units, local EMPs are authorized for use.
One done. Suspect has released a spike strip.
That's confirmed. Your roadblock is in position. Pursuit is headed on.
Roadblock reporting.
Suspect vehicles have been stopped. Good job, officer. Officer in pursuit of a red Alpha on East Gorge Freeway.
Confirm Central closing in on the suspect. Wait!
Systems are inoperative. Use direct force. Suspect is headed off-road. Weapon systems are down. Suspect is using a jammer. Roger that, 1073 approved. Roadblock units deploying directly ahead of you. Suspect has missed the spike strip. Suspect has missed the spike strip. Better luck next time, over.
I got him going in for the pin.
Weapons disabled. You are on your own until we can get back online.
Suspect is using spikes. Requesting support. All units, roadblock officers ready and will further orders.
Spike strip deployed. We are showing spike strip deployed at your location. All units here clear for 1067. I repeat, spike strips are now authorized, over. Monitoring spike strip release in your area. Proceed with caution. Suspect vehicles have been stopped. Good job, officer. That's confirmed. Your roadblock is in position.
Roadblock reporting 10-50. All units move in.
All units, weapon systems are down. Rerouting communications. Satellite connection down. All units, we are being jammed. Eyes on target. The target is immobilized. Repeat, target is immobilized. EMP activated. Acquiring target. All units, you are clear to use spike strips. I repeat, spike strips are now authorized, over. All units, local EMPs are now authorized to use. Repeat, EMPs are a go.
I've made contact. My vehicle has taken damage.
evaded the spike strip. Repeat, suspect evaded spike strip. Maintain pursuit.
Made contact. He has sustained some damage.
Officers have the suspect in custody. This thing is over. EMP activated, acquiring target lock.
Made contact. He has sustained some damage.
All units, weapon systems are down. Rerouting communications. Suspect is heading off-road into the forest.
Contact.
All units, local EMPs are now on the way. To use repeat, EMPs are a go.
Negative on the stop. Vehicle still mobile.
All units, local EMPs are authorized for use. Target has been apprehended. All units stand down. Situation on East Gorge Freeway. spike strip. Please move in for the arrest. Move in for the arrest. EMP activated. Acquiring target lock. All units, you're clear to use spike strips. I repeat, spike strips are now authorized. Over. Roger that. 1073 approved. Roadblock units deploying directly ahead of you.
Suspect has hit the roadblock. All units move in for the arrest. Repeat, move in for the bust. Dispatch, suspect just ran the roadblock. Repeat, suspect just ran the roadblock. I don't think that's the last. TC, I repeat, TC. Roadblock patrol units on scene. Let me know where you want them. Driver involved in attendance with police roadblock. All units move in. All units, roadblock has been compromised. Elevation to mess with the SCPD. Continuing pursuit. This is roadblock patrol. We are on scene and standing.
Suspect has evaded the spike strip. Repeat, suspect evaded spike strip. Maintain pursuit.
This is roadblock unit. Suspect involved in a TC on our position. Collision. Target vehicle has been involved in a traffic collision.
All units, we have a high priority situation on Fairview Road.
I got him. Going in
down, rerouting communications. Spike strip deployed. All units, you are cleared to use spike strips.
Suspect is crashed. Repeat, suspect is crashed.
Satellite connection down. All units, we are being jammed. Eyes on target.
All units, roadblock has been broken. Repeat, roadblock broken. Suspect is...
Weapon systems are down. Suspect is using...
Location to mess with the SCPD. Continuing pursuit.
You got it. Roadblock in position ahead. EMP activated, acquiring target launch. EMP has missed the target. All units, local EMPs are authorized for use.
Roadblock unit dispatch, please advise on target position.
All units, local EMPs are now authorized for use. Repeat, EMPs are a go. Suspect vehicles have been stopped. Good job, officer. Officers in pursuit of a green Lamborghini on West Beach Freeway. Roadblock is deployed directly ahead of you. Detecting an... Spike strip deployed. Spike strip has failed to slow the target. All units, you are cleared to use spike strips. The suspects are now under arrest for email processing. release in your area. Proceed with caution. All units, roadblock in position ahead.
This is aerial. Suspect has hit the roadblock. All units move in for the arrest. Suspect has entered the tunnel. Negative on the stop. Vehicle still mobile. TC, I repeat, TC.
strip. Suspect has missed the spike strip. Better luck next time. Over.
Roger that. Aerial pursuit unit engaging. Watch the road. Those racers are using spikes. Roadblock reporting 1050. All units move in. All units, roadblock unit reports hit and run. Backup requested. This is aerial pursuit. We have a confirmed hit. Suspect has been issued with warning.
That's confirmed. Your roadblock is in position.
Driver involved in a 1050 with police roadblock. All units move in.
Officers have the suspect in custody. This thing is over. I've made contact. He has sustained some damage. All units, roadblock in position ahead.
Roadblock reporting 1050. All units move in. All units, roadblock has been compromised. Suspect is... I don't think that's the last we'll see of him. This is roadblock patrol. We are on scene and standing by. Over.
Pursuit is headed onto Fairview Road.
Driver involved in a 1050 with police roadblock. All units move in. Dispatch, suspect just ran the roadblock.
Spike strip has failed to slow the target. Suspect has missed the spike strip. Suspect has missed the spike strip. Better luck next time. Over. Roger that. 1073 approved. Roadblock units deploying directly ahead of you.
Roadblock successful. Moving for the bus.
news of spike strip. Chopper unit in the air and awaiting target coordinates. The suspects are now under arrest for initial processing. All units, we have a high priority situation on Cascade Terrace.
I got him going in for the pin.
You got it. Roadblock in position ahead.
Suspect has been issued with a warning. Roadblock has been passed. The roadblock has been passed. They are still running. I've made contact.
All units, we are detecting a power surge from the suspect. Be on guard.
I've made contact. He is suspect.
That's confirmed. Your roadblock is in position. EMP activated. Acquiring target log. Suspect has missed the spike strip. Better luck next time. Over. That's confirmed. Your roadblock is in position.
Roadblock successful. Moving for the bus. All units, roadblock has been ineffective.
Spike strip has failed to slow the target. Suspect driving a Mercedes SLR McLaren Sterling Moss has been spotted. Suspect has...
Pursuing officer, be advised, target support incoming.
Detecting an EMP lock signal. Take evasive maneuvers. All units, weapon systems are down. Suspect is using a jammer. Spike strip deployed. We are showing spike strip deployed at your location. All units, you are cleared to use spike strip. Satellite connection down. All units,
Suspect is into the tunnel.
spike strip deployed. All units, we are detecting a power surge from the suspect. Be on guard. Suspect has left the road. Weapons disabled. You are on your own until we can get back online. Air pursuit unit is online.
Aerial pursuit unit, you're cleared to engage, over.
Weapon systems are down. Suspect... Suspect is now on Boulder Road. Pursuit is headed off-road.
We just lost him.
Weapon systems are inoperative. Use direct force.
I've made contact.
Bring him in for processing. All units, we have a high priority situation on Boulder Road. Spike strip deployed. We are showing spike strip deployed at your location. All units, you are cleared to use spike strips. All units, weapon systems are down. Rerouting communications. Spike strip deployed.
Roger that. 10 seconds received. Junior, clear to engage. Roadblock successful. Moving for the bus. Roadblock has been passed. The roadblock has been passed. Suspect is still running.
Suspect has missed the spike strip.
Negative. Target is in the...
EMP activated, acquiring target lock.
All units, roadblock officers ready and waiting for the orders. Arrest has been made.
All units, local EMPs are now authorized for use. Repeat, EMPs are going. Weapons disabled. You are on your own until we can get back on the... The roadblock is deployed directly ahead of you.
Suspect has hit the roadblock. All units moving for the arrest.
Air pursuit unit is online.
Roger that. Aerial pursuit unit engaged. We're on the suspect. I've made contact.
Spike strip has failed to slow. The target suspect is still on the run. That's confirmed. Your roadblock is in position.
Suspect has hit the roadblock. All units moving.
Yeah, I'm starting to think this was where I'm starting to lose my momentum. Yep, interesting. This was where I started to think it's probably not worth playing as much anymore. This game, I'm starting to see a lot more ridiculousness that this game has that shouldn't have happened. But we'll just keep on playing to the end because I still got more cars to show. And in this part, I think I was actually surprised that every other racer was really easy to bust except for the very last one. And I wish that car did not crash so I could actually EMP and bust him. There was only 1.2 miles left and that Reventon was in a critical condition already. And the part that I just started to struggle to catch up with that car, to where Reventon escapes with just the last leg, that was when I started heating up and became pissed off at everything that happened, to where the game just robbed me. Anyways, next one.
All units, we have a high priority situation on Oakmont Valley.
I got him. Going in.
That's confirmed. Your roadblock is in position. EMP has missed the target. EMP has missed the target. All units, continue pursuit. Over.
Roadblock has been passed. The roadblock has been passed. Suspect is still running.
EMP activated, acquiring target lock. Suspect is out of range. EMP lock-on failed. All units, local EMPs are authorized for use. All units, we are detecting a power surge for this.
Negative on the stop. Vehicle still mobile.
being more and more disappointed as I was, I started to give up on pursuing the rest of the cars if they start approaching the finish line soon enough. And that was when I started letting them go, telling myself that it still wasn't worth it.
Suspect is headed off-road onto the trails.
Negative on the stop. Vehicle still mobile.
Weapons disabled. You are on your own until we can get back online. Spike strip deployed. Spike strip has failed to slow the target. Spike strip deployed. We are showing spike strip deployed at your location.
Dispatch, suspect just ran the roadblock.
EMP activated, acquiring target lock. Officers have the suspect in custody. This thing is over. All units in pursuit of the Zonda.
Confirmed. Suspect is exceeding all posted limits. Requesting assistance.
Confirmed. disabled. You are on your own until we can get back online. The roadblock is deployed directly ahead of you. All units, local EMPs are authorized for use.
All units, roadblock has been ineffective.
Satellite connection down. All units, we are being jammed. Eyes on target. Suspect has evaded the spike strip. Repeat, suspect evaded spike strip. Maintain pursuit. All units, roadblock in position ahead.
Suspect has hit the roadblock. All units move in for the arrest. Repeat, move in for the bust.
All units, weapon systems are down. Suspect is using a jammer. Aerial support is standing by. We are awaiting orders.
Aerial pursuit unit, you're cleared to engage. Over. Boston, suspect is in the tunnel, heading round. All units, roadblock officers ready and waiting for the orders. Suspect has released the spike strip. All officers be on guard.
You got it. Roadblock in position ahead.
Roadblock successful. Move in for the bust.
Monitoring spike strip release in your area. Proceed with caution. All units, weapon systems are down. Rerouting communications.
Suspect has sustained heavy injuries. This thing is almost over.
Target has been apprehended. All units, stand down. All units, we have a high priority situation on Hope Canyon Freeway.
I've made contact. He has sustained some damage. Ticket has been issued.
I would have freaked out by a lot if I didn't bust that Bentley right in front of the finish line like that.
All units, we have a high priority situation on Cascade Terrace.
I've made contact. He has sustained some damage. That'll teach him to mess with the SCPD. Continuing pursuit. Suspect is using spikes. Requesting support. Roger that. 1071 received. Aerial pursuit unit, you're clear to engage.
Spike strip has failed to slow the target. That's confirmed. Your roadblock is in position.
Target has entered the tunnel. This is roadblock unit. Suspect involved in a TC on our position. All units, roadblock has been compromised.
All units, weapon systems are down. Suspect is using a jammer.
This is roadblock patrol. We are on scene and standing by. Over.
EMP activated, acquiring target lock.
All units, roadblock has been compromised.
Spike strip deployed. Spike strip has failed to slow the target. Suspect is still on the run. All units, local EMPs are now on. All units, weapon systems are down.
This is roadblock patrol 1. We are on scene and standing by. Over.
All units, we are detecting. Spike strip deployed. We are showing spike strip deployed at your location.
Suspect has hit the roadblock. All units move in for the arrest. Repeat, move in for the bust.
Pursuit is headed on. Satellite connection down. All units, we are being jammed. Eyes on target. Detecting an EMP lock signal. Take evasive maneuvers. Area support is standing by. We are awaiting orders.
All units, roadblock officers ready and waiting further orders.
Roger that. 1073 approved. Roadblock units deploying directly ahead of you.
Roadblock reporting 1050. All units move in. Suspect has released a spike strip.
Spike strip has failed to slow the target. All units, local EMPs are authorized for use. Suspect has evaded the spike strip. Repeat, suspect evaded spike strip. Maintain pursuit.
Suspect is into the tunnel.
Pursuit is headed onto Grand Ocean Road. Suspect has evaded the spike strip.
You know, I was actually questioning how long that McLaren F1 was on his last life while I was continuing the pursuit towards the finish line. My goal by then was to at least bust the McLaren F1 to get a merit. He hit a car that should have lowered his life. There it is. Hit. What? No bust. Hit again. No bust. That was the part that really pissed me off. To where my final revenge was to use a car that I already showcased. The Bugatti Veyron. My top cop car. But of course I decided to give it one last chance before I actually decide to use the Bugatti Veyron. Maybe this is because I didn't want to show how much of a failure this Koenigsegg CCXR was.
All units, we have a high priority situation on Cascade Terrace.
Negative on the stop. Vehicle still.
A roadblock is deployed directly ahead of you.
All units, roadblock has been compromised. Roadblock reporting 1050. All units move in.
Spike strip deployed.
Roger that. Aerial pursuit unit engaging.
Roger that, 1073 approved. Roadblock units deploying directly ahead of you.
We just lost him. Driver involved in a 1051 police roadblock. All units move in. All units, roadblock unit reports hit and run. Backup requested.
EMP activated, acquiring target lock.
Roadblock patrol units on scene. Let me know where you want them.
That's confirmed. The roadblock is in position. All units, local EMPs are authorized for use. Spike strip deployed. We are showing spike strip deployed at your location. Weapon systems are operative. Use direct force.
Watch the road. Those racers are using spikes. All units, roadblock officers ready and waiting for the orders.
You got it. Roadblock in position ahead.
Suspect has hit the roadblock. All units move in for the arrest. Repeat, move in for the bust. I've made contact.
It was surprising to see that Bugatti actually dodging my spike strips like that.
Better luck next time, over.
Playing for 2 hours long already, I was so over it.
Detecting an EMP.
And it was even too late for me to dodge. I started to lose patience and control that I am struggling to bust these racers even more and more. As you can see on the top right, I still only busted 2 racers, even at Coral Bay already.
Roger that. Aerial pursuit unit engaging. We're on the suspect.
Spike strip has failed to slow the target. Spike strip has failed to slow the target. Suspect is still on the run.
Suspect is using spikes. Requesting support. Lost him. Suspect is in the tunnel and heading round.
Weapon systems are down. Suspect is using a jammer.
Considering this as the last straw, that was when I broke out the Bugatti Veyron. Just for one last revenge.
situation on Cascade Terrace.
I've made contact. My vehicle has taken damage. Air support request received. Moving in on your position.
EMP activated, acquiring. Suspect has missed the spike strip. Better luck next time. Over. Satellite connection down. All units 3 are being jammed. Eyes on target.
Roadblock reporting 1050. All units move in. All units, roadblock has been broken. Repeat, roadblock broken. Suspect is still running. Target is in the tunnel.
Suspect is out of range. EMP lock-on failed. You got it. Roadblock in position ahead.
This is roadblock unit. Suspect involved in a TCR position. All units, roadblock has failed. Repeat, roadblock failed.
Chopper unit in the air and awaiting target coordinates. Spike strip deployed. EMP has missed the target. EMP has missed the target. All units continue pursuit. All units, local EMPs are now authorized for use. Repeat, EMP.
Target has dropped the spike strip. The situation is highly dangerous. We just lost him.
Pursuit is headed onto Coral Bay Drive.
Acknowledging the fact of how rigged this game was in terms of hitbox and judgment, as well as how poor my old PC was continuing to perform, it was time that I do something I should have done a long time ago. Don't try this at home. This is the end of the line.